Is this offense actually fixable? All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the Roar Eagle podcast, okay? Today we're going to be, if you can look right here, right on my right, it's the three topics that we're going to be talking about today is offense and easy fix. All right, should Hugh Freeze still call plays? And we just need to run the ball. Run the football, okay? So, and I'm not just talking about like straight handoffs, okay? Because if you notice like the Baylor game, the Ball State game, right? South Alabama, every game we stopped doing the jet sweep like less and less, right? We just went away from it. And this is not just like all three of these points here are pretty much intertwined together, right? All this has to do with the offense, okay? I'm going to do another episode strictly on the defense, okay? And but right here, right? So why is it that in the Baylor game, right? One of the biggest things that was happening that was moving the ball forward was the jet sweep game. Okay? So when you motion, and don't get me wrong, right? Like in the second half, we really was moving Singleton around. Like he was going on he was going like on motions all the way across the formation, you know, all that stuff. So it's like they were setting up for it, but they never pulled the trigger on it, which is weird. And also they kind of did on my favorite play. And I think it's the best play that we had all game, okay? And this is when Jackson Arnold faked it to Singleton across the, like, they went on the left side. And it looked like it was going to be just a straight-up handoff, which is what they set up earlier. And then he faked it and went straight upfield. So it was not necessarily a jet sweep, but you can see the potential where they really wanted to respect that Singleton give, even though it was not very impactful the first time that they did it in the game in the first half. It was not necessarily an incredibly effective run, but it was, you know, they just had to respect it. Because again, Jackson Arnold was not running the ball like he has been, right? For the past three of our first games, right? He was running pretty well, and we just haven't been seeing that. And I think the biggest problem here is play calling. Okay, the biggest problem of this offense, like the defense, bro. Again, we'll get into this in another episode, but man, Durkin, he's calling some great defense. I'm telling you, calling some great defense, and of course, you know, obviously we have some absolute dudes on the defense. But the problem is that we have the same amount of dudes, right, on the offense. We just can't get the right play calls. We can't get the right looks. We can't call the right play calls at the right time. I don't necessarily hate the play calls in general. Now, there's some that's just stupid, right? If you watch my analyze video where I analyze the offense, a little bit of it, there's a play that I think is probably the worst play call that we did all game. And that's saying something, okay? Because we were playing some, I mean, it wasn't just atrocious. It wasn't just, you know, a terrible offense. It was an idiotic offense. It was like, basically, it was almost like a pull a play out of the hat type thing, right? You know, it's like the offensive coordinator is up to Hugh Freeze, and he's like, you know, got his hat out and with a bunch of plays in it, and he's just like, hey, pick one out, coach, and that's what we're going with. It was ignorant football. Ignorant. I think that's the best way I can describe it. You know, everybody else has been saying it's terrible, which I can agree with that. I've said it. It's abysmal. I can understand this. But the major problem that I see with this offense is that it's just ignorant. Okay? And it's not all on the offense. I'm not going to say it's all on the players, because I would say that it's maybe 10% of the players' fault. Okay? With the false starts and the holding and all that stuff. It's just it just doesn't make sense why we're calling these play calls. Okay, so back to it. My worst favorite play call. I mean, it was the worst, dude. It was like, why are you putting Frazier, okay, in the backfield as a running back, and then putting him in the flat? What you should have done was put like Singleton, which was in the flat, or not in the flat. He was he was closer in, right? And either you put one of the outside wide receivers on a drag, or like on a very short drag, like a mesh type play. Get somebody else. If you're not going to have nobody else in the backfield except for Brandon Frazier, you need to have him blocking. Okay? Like, if you want to put him back there, I mean, I guess, in like, just ultimately that doesn't necessarily, not make sense. I mean, it actually does kind of make sense. But I mean, put him like in an H-back set, or like a fullback, or something like that. Like, put him right behind the offensive line, and just let him kind of back up and protect. But yet, we have nobody. We only have 5 linemen, okay? They've been struggling all day. We put only them 4, or only them 5, right? And then we just send everybody to the house, okay? And then we put him on the flat to go out. So, again, nobody's going down the middle in a short route. I don't know why we can't do that. I don't know why we're so scared to put Singleton, or even Simmons, or heck, even Cam Coleman at this point. Put either one of them on a slant down the middle, man. You got yards all day. You got yards all day, man. It's again, it doesn't make sense, the play calling that we are trying to do. I mean, it's just it's like it's almost like, with the hat, with the plays in a hat thing. Sure, that's a great analogy. But then we can go forward with that. It's almost like he was just trying to do the most random things to try to throw off the defense, maybe. And it's just like, okay, well, I get that, but why don't you play to your strengths? I mean, obviously, your strength right now in the middle of the season, or pretty much in the middle of the season, you're looking at, like, okay, what is your strength here? Well, obviously, in the past, games, it should have been the running game. It should have been, because you beat Baylor with the running game, and now I'm not even so sure if I'm even going to blame that now on the safeties being high up. They playing 2 high safeties all game. Well, this Hugh Freeze that we got right now, that's been calling plays against Oklahoma and Texas A&M, he might as well have just thrown the ball there too. So what's the difference? Well, the major problem here is that there shouldn't be any difference. You should still be calling the same plays. And not even that. If you do want to call more pass plays, that's fine. Do some more, screens, set up screens, right? Set up some mesh plays, right? Set up some cross routes, which is mesh, right? Set up some slants, some quick outs, I mean, we've been doing some comeback routes, which has been great, to Cam Coleman. But it's a huge problem when you have the best deep attack wide receiver. I mean, just wide receiver in general, right? I mean, I would argue he's the best player on the offensive side right now. Obviously, Cam Coleman. Come on. And yes, you want him to make those explosive plays. That's fine. I get it. And yes, I also get it that you want to give him the ball. The problem here is that there should be no reason at all, okay, that that Cam Coleman, I think it was like 8 targets for 18 yards. What are we doing? That doesn't make any sense. Like every play, I don't think okay, there were 2 deep attacks. Okay, 2 deep attacks. And both of them was not Cam Coleman. Explain that to me. I mean, at this point, I just want you to heave it up. Do a little arm punt. I mean, at this point, take some chances, man. Take some chances. Now, I will say that, when it comes to like Jackson Arnold, right? Jackson Arnold is holding on to the ball way too long, okay? We saw it in my analyze video where, we're literally sitting here counting how long the offensive line is holding a very impressive clean pocket for like 4 to 5 seconds long. Okay? And he's just not doing anything with it. And it's frustrating because it's like, bro, you should not be sitting in the pocket that long. And that goes with play calling as well, right? So I think going forward with the offense is not just run the ball, but stop drop back passing when you don't need to. That's just my personal opinion. I might be wrong on that. That's just my personal opinion. Why are we just drop back passing? Right? 2 to 3 steps back, maybe even 4 step back passes. That's not our strength. Why are we doing that? Why are we trying to go deep every play? I mean, really? Like, come on, guys. And that goes to Hugh Freeze calling the plays. Like, I don't think that should be the case anymore. I don't necessarily, right now, I guess I'll give him one more game. And it sucks that game has to be against Georgia. I mean, I think if we lose this game, I don't care if we lose out and we lose the Georgia game. That's how important this is, because Georgia fans or Auburn fans are sick of hearing about how great Georgia is and how many times Georgia has beaten Auburn. I mean, it's the Deep South oldest rivalry, man. I mean, this is very important in the Plains. Okay? I mean, when you come to Auburn, what are the 2 biggest things that we want to happen? Well, we want you to beat Georgia, and we want you to beat Bama. Okay? And the sad truth is this. I think, some people now this ain't for all fans, okay? At this point for me, a successful season is not like a 10-2. Okay? A successful season is if we go, like right now, both Georgia and Bama right now are beatable. They're not like they was in the previous seasons. Okay? If you're going to beat them now. Kill the streaks. Okay? And to top all that off, they're coming to Jordan-Hare. Okay? So, I don't know. As a fan, I kind of want them to just beat Georgia and Bama. Just focus on that. I mean, come on. Like, at this point, can we win out? I think it's not impossible. And I think if I answered this question, is it an easy fix? I think the offense is a very easy fix. Because, I mean, you think about it. Everything falls in line with calling plays. Okay? So just let me paint a picture for you. So if you have an offense, right, that is great at running the ball, great at RPOs, actual RPOs, right? Like not like the sloppy, bogus stuff that we've been seeing. If you have short, to mediate passing plays down the middle, dude. Down the middle. And don't give it to Preston Howard either. Don't do that, okay? So, but here's the thing though. If you're going to do that, okay, if you're just going to drop back 3 to 4 steps back, and try to heave it down the field every other play, that ain't going to work. You're going to get pummeled. It's going to be a quick 3 and out every series. And Georgia's just going to keep shoving the football down our throats. Now, do I have confidence in our defense? I absolutely do. But here's the thing. If you can't score, and if you can't keep the defense off, keep your own defense off the field, then we got a major problem here. Okay, because Georgia's better than Texas A&M or Oklahoma at this point. Okay, so yes, the defense held a talented offense. Okay, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. All right, in Oklahoma. Right, you took them on and you stopped both of them. Okay, pretty good. Like you shut them down pretty good. I mean, yeah, Oklahoma, they scored 17 points in my opinion with their offense. They did not score 24 with that cheap play, but we're not talking about that. Texas A&M, right? We held a very competent quarterback, right, at Texas A&M to 16 points. I mean, really, if we take our time and go down the field and actually run the ball and do all that stuff, who knows what would have happened, man? We were still only down by 16 points, or 6 points. I mean, one more touchdown, field goal, extra point, we win the game. It's just like, okay, back on track here. What you need to do with play calling, okay? You just understand this, okay? And this fixes all the problems in my opinion. All right? You don't drop back the pass, okay? Not every freaking down, okay? Come on. What you do is you run on first down, okay? Just let our running backs cook, man. Just let them cook. All right? Do some actual play action, or not play action. Just do some regular like jet sweeps, man. Make that a thing again. We did not see a single, I might be wrong on this, but I don't remember a single jet sweep handoff against Texas A&M. That's a problem. That's a problem. And instead of a jet sweep, which is what we've been seeing is successful, you're putting Eric Singleton in the backfield, no motion, just line him up in the backfield and hand it off, just a regular handoff, just a regular sweep play. It's like, come on, man. So you run the ball competently, okay? you arrange it in a certain way where you're utilizing the outside boundaries, okay? Because if you notice against Texas A&M, when we did go outside, we were doing pretty good. We're getting 3 to 4 yards a pop. And here's the thing, maybe even more. I mean, we got like a 5. Now just understand this, right? A terrible looking screenplay, bubble screen, okay, that we saw to Eric Singleton. He motioned from the left side of the offense, of the formation, all the way to the outward boundary of the right side, the far side. And there's no blocker. Nobody's there. There's a little cushion there, surprisingly. And lucky, like we were lucky there. We were very lucky that Texas A&M did not bite on that. Because if they did, they take it to the house. Or it's a loss of down or something like that. Or a TFL or something like that. Alright, so there's no blocker in front of him. Okay? But he's still got 5 yards. Why? We're attacking the outside. Okay? And when we say run, that does not mean it has to be up the gut every down, up the gut. It don't have to be that. Mix it up. Left to right. Off tackle. Okay? Like you really mean to tell me that if you have look, just let me just say this last thing, we're wrapping up. You're telling me that we cannot have Eric Singleton motion every play, just about every play across the field, right? With that threat of a jet sweep, okay? You have Jackson Arnold's legs, him doing read options all day, okay? You have the combination between Damari Alston and Jeremiah Cobb. You're telling me with that kind of attack, you're not gonna you're really gonna tell me that we're not gonna get first downs there? Really? 3 straight handoffs, okay, to either 4 of those guys, and you're really telling me that we cannot successfully move the ball? I refuse to believe that. I refuse. Why you look, instead of putting Frazier back there in the halfback position, running back position, why are we not putting our best running backs that are incredibly competent, able to do it? They're great at running. Let's put them back there every down, dude. I don't want to see Singleton back there getting regular handoffs. I don't want to see that. That doesn't make sense. That defeats the purpose of what he's supposed to be doing. Okay, he's our gadget runner. Okay? So, and again, what does that open up? Well, something that we've been trying to do last game, right, against Texas A&M, was just play action. We've been trying to get that play action bite, and it's like, if there's no threat for the run game, why are you calling play action passes? Why? What's the whole point of calling play action? Well, the entire game, right, you've been pounding the ball, and then all of a sudden, boom, play action, throw deep. That's the whole point of a play action pass. It's elementary football here. Okay, this ain't hard. If you're not successfully running the ball, the play action pass ain't going to be bit on. It's just not. It's not going to work. Okay? So here's what you do going forward with the offense, and this is why I think it's an easy fix, and we're closing. I think, first off, I'm not sold on Hugh Freeze right now calling plays. I don't care who it is. Let's get a good solid game plan going. I just give me a solid plan where we can actually competently move the football and not look like a bunch of idiots standing out there with our hands raised, like, what are we doing here? Okay, we're going to go ahead and surrender now. Might as well just take a knee. Okay? Like, it's terrible. Okay? So, I'm not sold on either way. I mean, if Hugh wants to play, play calls, I mean, I guess you give it to him. I mean, he's the head coach after all. Just, if you're going to do that, let's actually have everybody engaged. Okay, and let's just decide on something great. Okay, so play calls, right? Run the ball more. Do some outside sweeps. Just attack the boundary. Okay, and then if you run the ball, you're going to get less holding. Okay, it's just what it is, because you don't have to sit there and try to block for five seconds, right? For Jackson Arnold just to either, run and barely, throw the ball and whatever, or get sacked, right? You don't have that. You don't have that kind of threat. So what you do here is that you run the ball outside, inside, okay? Just mix it up, bounce it off, right? Do some jet sweeps, do anything you possibly can to change up the play calling when it comes to running the ball. It does not have to be a straight up handoff, all right, to Eric Singleton, okay? Just don't do that, okay? Just work on that threat of running the football, then you can do some play action passes. Okay, play action pass is not supposed to be a 3 drop back look. Okay, with a play action pass, you don't typically, if ever, have a 3 route progression that you have to go through. Okay, it's just not. You don't do that. Okay, you already know who you're going to run, who you're going to throw it to. Okay, so if you keep pounding the ball right, you have a few bubble screens here and there, right? Some short routes up the middle. do stuff like that. But then when it really boils down to is that you have that kind of threat, don't do any play actions unless you really mean it. Unless you have adjusted the defense correctly. Okay? If they're sitting there stopping the run, then they're going to respect that run. Okay? And then that's when you have Cam Coleman on the edge that's been working that corner and safety all night. And then all of a sudden, boom, play action, deep, go get it. Touchdown. Like, seriously, it's not hard, okay? If you got the dudes in the backfield, utilize them as much as possible, and get your outside guys, right? Just give them the ball, man. And that's why we're not getting anybody open, because you don't have to worry about it. Your quarterback's not running. You don't have to worry about the run game. Okay, your down lineman is they're just rushing either 3 or 4 guys every play, and they're still getting through because the quarterback's holding it for 5 seconds, and you're getting sacks. All right, all you got to do is just play prevent all game. And here's the thing: when you do have somebody open, you have a quarterback that ain't gonna throw it. It's not hard to be a defense against Auburn right now. It's just not. So, is the offense easy to fix? Yes. Absolutely. And how do we fix it? Play calling. 1,000%. And I would like to see if anybody has anything on that. I don't see how that's not the case. But of course, we're done with the bye week, right? Hopefully, with Hugh Freeze coming out answering, questions, either terrible, whatever your opinion is on his, how he's answering these questions, that's up to you to decide. And I know that we've been practicing like crazy, right? The days off that we should be getting, we're not, because we're practicing. I like that. But here's the thing, though. It doesn't matter how much you practice if you're just going to set up your best guys to not succeed. If you're going to set them up for failure, it doesn't matter how much you try to practice. It doesn't matter, because you're still going to set them up for failure when that's not their strength, and you're not going to play to their strength, and you're just going to keep losing fans. You're just going to keep losing, and hopefully not. God forbid this. We lose people like Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, or anybody else like that in the transfer portal. That would be the worst thing ever. Okay, so look, if you like this video, like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the offense. Tell me what you think about how Hugh Freeze may or may not need to be calling plays, and how we just need to run the football. Okay, I would love to hear you guys' opinion. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.